Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the player ratings. Newcastle United 2, Everton 1. Everton going back to normality. Another defeat, 2 in a row now. I've just done my instant match reaction, just trying to get it all out. Obviously, disappointing with that performance. Just not a good side when we haven't got our best players, but you could probably say that about a lot of sides in the Premier League. Let's get into it. Tolson made his debut today for Everton. The manager put him in there because he felt like Jordan Pickford needed a rest. He did say Jordan Pickford will be back for next week, which I found a little bit strange, but he said he'd be back for next week. I've given him an 8. I thought he did really well on his debut. I thought he made a couple of really good saves. He made a good save in the first half from St. Maxim, one that you'd expect him to save, I thought personally. I don't think he had much of a chance with, well, obviously the penalty. He made a good save not long after the penalty as well to keep it at 1-0. When typical Everton style, we try to concede 2 in quick succession. And the second goal, the ball's looped over him, hasn't it? So off a deflection off Mina, and hasn't got much of a chance with that really. So I've given him an 8 though. Thought it was a good debut, and a couple of times, coming out and catching it and things like that, things that don't often see Pickford do just because of the sheer size. But obviously it wasn't enough to stop us from getting a defeat. John Joe Kenny, I've given him a 5. I could see exactly every time what he was trying to do. It's just that he's not fast enough to do the things he wants to do. And this has always been my thing with John Joe Kenny, is that I just don't think he's ever going to be Everton's starting right back, because I just don't think he's got the speed. I don't think he's got the pace to play right back in the Premier League. I really don't. I think every time today that we had an opportunity to break down the right, he couldn't get past the fullback because he just hasn't got the pace to beat him. And even on when he was trying little 1-2s, he couldn't get past his marker. He's just not fast enough, and he'll never be a Premier League right back because of that. I thought defensively he was fine, but we needed him and Konku to be the whiff today, and the pairing really didn't offer that much. Konku, I'd give a little, I've given Konku a 5 as well. Just because, again, it's the final product. It's, he looked a little bit, I don't know, I think he realised there was a big step up from what he played in so far. He didn't have that freedom. Newcastle are defensively very, very well organised, and they were not giving him the space to get down that wing. And every time he tried something and he thought he'd got past someone, he wasn't past them. There was either an extra man come in or the other player just stuck a foot out. And I think that's what he's going to have to learn about the Premier League a lot quicker. The difference with Nkunku is, I think, physically, I think he has got the strength and I think he has got the speed to be a left back, but he's nowhere near it yet. But Kenny is at a different stage. He's been out on loan. He's already had a chance in the first team and was lent out to get that experience. He's come back and he's not good enough. I mean, it's as simple as that. And there's nothing against the lad. I think he tries hard. I think he works hard. I think he tries to do the right things. I just don't think he's got the pace or the physicality to do what he wants to do. And that's sad, but that's reality. That's just the simple reality of Premier League football. You need to have pace and you need to have power, and I don't think he's got either, sadly. So John Joe Kenny 5, Nielsen Konku 5. Yerry Mina, I've given a 4. The second goal is just, for me, abysmal defending. It's abysmal defending to be sucked in so high, and then know that the centre forward is dragging him in there, because he knows where that ball's going. And he knows on a one-on-one foot race, he's winning the race. Whether he gets to the other side of him or he brings him down, he's winning that race because he's faster than him. He knows he's faster than Mina. And Mina has fell for that. He did it last season against Arsenal. I think Aubameyang done the same thing to him. He just dragged them up the pitch, exposed that space behind them, and then pulled them in. And you need pace. And I think maybe a Ben Godfrey or a Mason Holgate I'm not saying they wouldn't fall for the same trap, but they'd have the recovery pace to drop into that space. And that's the difference when you've got two centre backs who struggle with pace. You can't get high up the pitch and expect to, leave all that space behind you when you've got no pace. So I can't believe an international player of like Mina has fell for that. I really don't. That's just poor as far as I'm concerned. So I've given him a 4. Michael Keane, I've given a 6. He's a little bit off his game at the moment, defending and passing, but it does give us that little bit of stability defensively. But I think he struggles as well when we don't have that pace, and we're playing, because Michael Keane likes to come out from the back as well, but I don't know, he has struggled in the last couple of games. Alan, I've given a 6 as well. Obviously trying to break up the play, but again, different game today because he's, what he wants to do, but is there an actual sort of, not a need for it, because there's always a need for it, but they try to play on the break, and him sitting in front of that back four isn't always needed as such. When you've got Delph in there as well, it sort of stops what he does best. He's never going to run forward, but I've given him a 6 anyway. The core a 5. Now, he is a player you'd expect to run forward. I expect the core to be bombing on past Dominic Calvert-Lewin, especially when he's got the protection of an Allen and a Delph. I expect him to be sitting behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And again today, I mean, tactically he wasn't supposed to, but I think this is what I'd like to see from him. But I just didn't see enough bravery from him. He wasn't adventurous enough. And when he did get in the box, his shots were poor. They were weak. Never really got anything clean. Another one who hesitates when he gets in the box in terms of shooting. Just put your foot through it. Just put your foot through and see what happens. Could take a deflection, could go anywhere. Just put your foot through it. I don't think he does that enough for me. Delph, I've give a 6. I thought first half, when Prime Emily, his job was just to defend and sit in front of the back four, I thought he did that really well. Second half, I don't think we needed him on the pitch. And especially when we went a goal behind, I don't think we needed him. And he's trying to whip in all these crosses that weren't going anywhere. For me, I think, certainly when we went a goal down, I think him and Gomez should have just gone off the pitch at that point. And we should have been a little bit more adventurous. And maybe that's when you put a Wobie in the centre of the park and pulled the Corey back. But, yeah, first half was all right. Second half, I just thought once they scored, there was no point in him being on the pitch, and because we needed to be a little bit more attacking, and he wasn't up to it. Gylfi, I've gave a 4. I think Gylfi Sigurdsson's performance can be typified by that corner in the last minute. We're 2-1 down. We've got everybody up front, including the goalkeeper, and he floats a little ball into the box. That, to me, typifies Gylfi Sigurdsson. Like, not understanding what is needed. Like, got the skill set, but doesn't understand what is needed for that time right then. Instead, to me, in the last minute, you just smash one in. You smash one in as hard as you can and see where it ends up. You don't float a ball into the box when they've got a big goalkeeper. And that, to me, just sums up Gylfi Sigurdsson as a player. Again, it's everything. He's like Gomez. Everything is in his own little bubble. And he's trying to be clever, and he's trying to play clever little passes that are always a yard short or 2 yards over hit. He's slow when he gets on the ball. He just doesn't do anything. And sadly, he's not good enough. And so the fact that once again he has led an Everton team out with the captain armband, I will never understand. He is never ever Everton's captain. Never will be. And that's the message you send when you put that armband out on him and send him out to play. So I've given him a 4. Andre Gomez, I've given a 2. Because I just think he stunk the gaff out. I thought he was pathetic first half. I thought the penalty completely summed up him on the pitch at times when he is just isn't aware. He's got no awareness of anyone else on the pitch, and at times I really don't understand what he's now offers. You know, it's a year since he got that injury, and he's never been the same player. Never been the same player. Don't get me wrong, he was guilty of these performances beforehand, but not as often. He's got no pace in him, but he's not one of those players who, like, you look at James Rodriguez, and you watch the way, even though he doesn't run, the way he manipulates the ball, the way he moves the ball around, the least, you know what I mean? He's got class. He understands the whole picture. Gomez doesn't. Gomez gets on the ball and thinks he's got an idea, and within a second, someone's closing him down, or someone's on his shoulder, and that to me is the problem with Andre Gomez. And I think he should have been dragged off at half time. Personally, I don't think he was offering anything, and I think we needed to bring someone on then at that point and be a little bit braver and go after them, because we were containing them. But that's fine. But it's 0-0 at half time. You're at Newcastle and there's no fans. You've got the organisation. Go and have a little go at them. Go and see what they've got. Go and help put someone, within 5 yards of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, whether that be an Anthony Gordon or a Bernard or whoever you want. But for me, Gomez should have gone off at half time, and I think the manager just got that completely wrong. Completely wrong. I've said this before about Everton managers in the past, being reactive, not proactive. It's what the best managers are, and I just thought today that's where Carlo got it completely wrong. So if Andre Gomez gets a 2 for me. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I've given him a 7. Again, worked hard all game, and got his goal in the end. Maybe he should have got one a couple of minutes earlier, but he stuck at it. Got a whack on his head for his troubles. Playing off scraps for the second week in a row, but got his goal in the end. And I know we brought Tolson on, who we'll talk about in a minute, but just isolated again, and that just shows you what happens when we don't have Richarlison and James Rodriguez. Really, more Richarlison. Richarlison is a player who can play left wing and up front at the same time. So he's playing on scraps, but it is what it is. The subs, Bernard, 5. Knew anything, did he, apart from that one at the end? Looped one in and nearly went in, but offer him very little when he comes on. So I've given him a 5. Shane Tolson, I've given him a 5 as well. Just couldn't get himself into the game. Player's been out since March with that injury. And it was a surprise to see him on the bench, so for him to come on was a bonus for him. Didn't really do anything for us. It helped us push up a little bit and maybe be a little bit more direct. Dom winning the first header and opening, you'll get the knockdown, or vice versa. That might be something that'll work better next week when he's had another week of training. We'll have to wait and see. Someone in the comments just says, Dennis says, you got any doubts about Carlo after this display? I haven't got any doubts. I just think that he got it wrong today. Managers will get it wrong from time to time. They will think something in the week and think that it looks great on the training ground, but it doesn't always come off. And it's what he's working with as well. I know a lot of people are very critical of him at the moment because Anthony Gordon's not getting a chance, but he watches him all week in training. I'm yet to be not convinced on Anthony Gordon. I can see he's a good player, he's got real talent, and he's going in the right direction. The manager might just think he's too lightweight, or he hasn't got enough at the moment. But his chance will come. Of course it will. Just going back to Shane Tolson, it is what it is. He is a striker. No, I know. Like, a lot of people have bemoaned that we haven't had strikers. He was on the. Ellis Sims was on the bench as well. That was good as well to see Ellis Sims on the bench. But Tolson came on. The manager might look at it and say, well, he did have an effect on the game because we could start throwing the ball in the box, and And that's so from that point of view, you might look at it and say he didn't actually. I don't think he actually had an effect on the game in terms of how many times he touched it. But it is good that he's fit. He does give us another option coming off the bench, and we'll see what happens with that. But I've still only given him a 5. And Iwobi, I've given him a 5 as well. Again, really didn't do much. I played one pass, I think, that for Don when he maybe should have done a little bit better. But again, no, another player coming off the bench and not really getting hold of the game. But they're all the same. All these players are the same, aren't they? Sigurdsson, Gomez, Bernard, Iwobi, they're all the same. None of them are actually, you look at the team, none of them are wide men. None of them are like-for-like replacements for the players that have gone off the pitch. Or, who are not playing. I mean, there's no one who's a replacement for Richarlison. It's as simple as that. There's no one. That's the problem with Richarlison, and it's the problem with James Rodriguez. There's no one anywhere near them in our squad who are replacements. So you've got to come up with another idea of playing, I suppose. Maybe if Cenk Tosun had had an extra week, we would have started the game 4-4-2 and gone in like that. I don't know, but again, there's 4 players there who've not taken the chance today, and let's be honest, that's why as fans we're just not big fans of these players, because you give them a chance and they do nothing with it. They do nothing with it. Bernard comes on and does nothing. Iwobi comes on and does very, very little. There you go. Listen, it's another week gone. It's another game, and we've got to bounce back next week against Manchester United and get something out of it. We're not in good form, obviously. 2 defeats and a draw before that. But we were without our best players, and it's showing, and it shows. And Carlo Ancelotti's got to come up with a way of using these players better, and not just throwing them all into the game, if that makes sense. Like maybe introducing Anthony Gordon into the team, but put someone alongside him who's got. Going back to Delph, I've got no problem with Delph being in the side and having him next to Allen. But you've got to have you've got to have more adventurous players in the team in front of him. Then, if you're having Allen, Decore, and Delph, then why have you got Gylfi, Sigurdsson, and Gomez in front of them? Put Gordon in front of him and see what he does. Or put Iwobi in there in a more central position. I'm not Iwobi's biggest fan, but what I do know is he's not a wide player. He's more of a central player. We're not playing in central areas. That's my only thing. It's like I can't for the life of me understand why we came out second half with Sigurdsson and Gomez. I just can't for the life of me. It was not required. It was time to have a go at them, and we never. And that's solely on the manager. It's as simple as that. It's solely on the manager today. It's on the manager, because he knows those players aren't good enough, and yet he's left them on there for the second half. So that's me anyway. That's it's gone now. Got to start looking forward to the rest of the games, and hopefully we get some of our players back soon. Hopefully James Rodriguez is fit next week. And I've gone invisible. I've gone off the screen, so I'm gonna probably have to finish now, because I think I've gone invisible. I don't know. On my thing, I've gone invisible. I'm still here. You can hear me, but so therefore I'm gonna go. Because I've just disappeared on my camera. Anyway, give this video a like, subscribe, and if you want more videos, join us on Patreon. And yeah, see you later.